I had a really good childhood. I loved living with my parents and younger sister, and I didn't really have much to worry about. But at the age of 10, it all began to change as I started being bullied at school. I immediately looked at my parents to help me get out of the situation, but my dad was a teacher and he never really wanted to talk about it. So I remained silent and the bullying just continued. 3 years later, I found out that my dad had adopted me when he married my mum, and my world came crashing down. I didn't want to talk about it or even think about it, and I couldn't see my life in the same way. A few years later, my dad was diagnosed with depression and began to withdraw from us, and I couldn't stand it. I felt so lonely at school, I felt so lonely at home, and I didn't know where to turn. I remember one day after school, I just had enough. It had eaten me up inside, so on the way home I visited my local newsagent and I picked up some adult magazines. And that was the moment that I became fascinated by porn. I ended up joining the church and becoming a Christian, which was great, but I was so afraid of being found out about my addiction and how I was praising God one day and then running back to porn the next. I was afraid that if people knew who I really was, that I would be kicked out. So I got stuck in, helping out at church, and ended up being offered a role in leadership. At about this time, I also got married, and we got the internet in our new house. It was hard. It was really, really hard. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. I finally felt like I had a good relationship that I'd committed to, but if she found out, she might leave me. I started spending long hours serving at the church until I just got burnt out. I'd be crying out to God, bargaining for a place of compromise so I could be set free. I was fasting, I was praying, and I was fasting again. I would do anything to let it all go, just as long as it was kept between me and God. God gradually broke down my porn addiction and so much more. Right back to where it started, the need to belong and to be loved.